it doesn't work that way, then oh, okay.
So I was able to
Oh, okay.
figure it out. Yeah.
Ah, okay,
So we're
okay.
back.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that always doesn't work, then we always just submit talks and maybe also submit like sprints and we hope that they get accepted. But I think we've just missed the window for PyCon Africa because PyCon Africa proposal just closed this Monday, I think last on Sunday. So we might not be
Okay.
able to maybe submit a talk or anything unless maybe now Chaos Africa decides to sponsor the event, then we can be able to maybe now come in and support. But
Mm.
I think those are the ways I think I can get ideas. Because I think one of the things is we do not want to we do not want to talk about what we do really, but we want to make impact. So it don't make sense to get a lightning talk where I just go and talk about what I do. I actually want people to
Mm-hmm.
learn what I do. So if I get a workshop to teach
Yeah.
people accessibility, that makes more
Mm-hmm.
sense compared to saying, hey, join the community, do, and
Yeah.
most of them rarely even end up joining. So I feel like that is
Yeah.
always more impactful. And you can even mention something like, oh, I trained a couple of number of people in this and this and this. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thinking around it. So it's either we do a workshop or we
Mm-hmm.
partner with them as accessibility partners. I think that's something they'll be open. If you just send an email to the organizers, good thing I'm part of the organizing team for PyCon Africa this year. So
Oh,
um,
great.
we can send an email to be like accessibility partners, like we can badge the event, we can do what, and then once we do that, so I'm thinking
Okay.
we have different ideas. So let me just start writing
Okay.
them.
All
Like
right. So which country will are you people having fight on Africa?
it's happening in Uganda this year.
Uganda, okay.
Yes.
Um, so at the end of the day, the end goal of having chaos accessibility team is to ensure that open source in chaos and open source global is accessible to people with disabilities in terms of them also contributing, right? Building products
Yeah.
and all of that. So we should also bear in mind that while we collaborate with these people, we want to put that end game in mind. So
Yeah.
while we are collaborating, are we trying to meet their community for people with disabilities? Are we trying to tell them that they also can contribute to open source in chaos and open source in general? We're trying to tell them how they can contribute to open source as it concerns accessibility. And most importantly, we are creating awareness for people with disabilities in open source. So we're also talking to people who do not have disabilities, who have
Yeah.
either open source communities or are building open source software or products to include disability, accessibility, and in general, people with disability while they're trying to either build a community or build a
Mm.
software, right? So in this case, how do we approach the community in Uganda? Do we meet with people with disabilities in Uganda? Are they new to tech? Are we trying to like do a workshop where we're introducing people with disabilities in Uganda to tech and to open source in general? Let's take CHAOSScon for instance, CHAOSScon Africa that we did, where there was like a workshop specifically for people with disabilities, where um, few people with one person with disability came and spoke about using open source software and being part of the open source community and how it benefits her and how it has been useful to her and the community in general. So is that what we want to do in PyCon? I think it would be a great idea. Aside having a personal talk where we come and talk about accessibility and what we do in open source, what we do in tech as it concerns accessibility and people with disabilities. We can also do one where we have the community themselves, people with disability, come and speak about how or what they've been doing in tech and how they can be part of the open source space, either building the open source community or building open source software. Because that's like the end goal. The end goal is we want people with disabilities to be building software, technology. We want
Mm.
them to be part of the open source community, right? So, I mean, since you're part of the organizers, we can talk about that. Like, a panel session or a conversation where it helps us to not only reach out to um, people with disabilities in open source, but the people with disabilities community in Uganda. I don't know if that has ever been touched for people with
Mm,
disabilities who want to get into tech, right?
yeah.
uh Because now that we are global, now that accessibility inclusion team is no longer just Africa or
Mm,
making it look like it's just Nigeria or just Kenya. We want more African people, more African community to be part of the group, right? We go from Africa, we spread. So if this
mm,
can be an opportunity for us to reach out to people with disabilities in Uganda, the community, we form like a community. It doesn't, for me personally, I'm always about impact. Like it doesn't have to, we don't have to have a crowd. You can reach out to two, three people who are genuinely interested in tech and genuinely interested in being part of open source, genuinely interested in building something in open source. That works. If that workshop or the panel session is going to achieve that, that is amazing. That's impact, right? So if we can actually do that for Python, I think that would be great. So I've been talking for a long time. Please, anybody has any other idea, please chip in.
I know Winfred, Blessing. I don't know who else is in the meeting because I can't see the participants, but
And
yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I agree with so yeah, bringing people with disabilities to come and so it doesn't look like you mentioned that we are not really bringing. They will not be able. I think they'll be able to relate more when they see person that is actually disabled. Sorry for the word, like person with disability.
It's not a slaw.
Then
You
they
can say
can
disabled. Disabled is fine. You can say disabled people.
okay.
I mean, not disabled, but
So I
disabled
think they'll be
people.
able to
Yeah.
relate more compared to people who are not having disabilities speaking. They might be able to say, oh, yeah, this person is actually with disability, and they might even tend to want to speak to such person more to open up faster compared to someone who is not. So I agree with that way. It makes it easy. They can even be like the spokesperson for the um, community at the end of the day to say, oh, I have this particular community that is inclusive, you can join the community. If based on their experience, if they're able to relate more with people that
Mm,
have this. So I agree with that idea.
okay, okay. That's fine. That's okay. I don't know. Can someone else be writing the meeting notes? Because I feel like there's a lot I'm missing out from that. I don't know if Toyo
I
in a
blessing.
position.
Blessing, you always help us, please. Help us with the meeting notes. It's true. Oh my God. I actually forgot to send the
Please, can you
meeting.
share the link? Just
Yeah, I was going to say that. The meeting minutes for the, yeah, let me just quickly show that. Uh, I was going to ask you, how was is it is it PyCon Namibia? How was PyCon Namibia?
Oh, Paco Namibia was lovely. Definitely going next year. I love how
Mm,
organized they are. They already have a website for next year, by the way. So if you want to go
you know,
next
I was
year,
supposed
so
to attend, but
what happened?
there wasn't. Honestly, I would say there wasn't clear information, right?
Okay.
They were not going to do like a full sponsorship, and I think that was a problem, right? That
Um,
was a problem for
mm-hmm,
one. Then two, I had personal issues. I lost my dad, so I had the burial and everything. I had to cancel. I had to cancel. Like, I mean, the plan was for me to like travel regardless, like whether it's full sponsorship or not, right?
yeah.
But that again was like a limiting factor because I was like, if they're not going to be sponsoring me, like doing this sponsorship thing, there's no need for me to stress since I'm already under so much pressure. So you can, it's not like
Mm,
there's something I'm missing out, or how do I put this? Just it's not like there's something that I'm missing out based on maybe free or complete sponsorship for the trip, and I'm missing out on that, and I can maybe compromise or
Yeah.
something. You get, so I just like have to let it go completely. But and I was supposed to be speaking at the event, so it was very
Yeah.
limiting. Mm.
Okay. No, I really totally understand. I think for PyCon Namibia, they're really a small conference, so they don't get that much to support, but they definitely do support. So, what you do, just always just email them, especially if you're a speaker. They always don't support that much, but they are always willing to support in terms of accommodation or paying a little bit of your flights, let's say if it's half the price or something. So yes, they always do offer support, but just always do. I think for any conference, just shoot them an email. Just tell them what you're going through, and they're probably going to support you. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe this year. When is Python and Baby this year?
Next year, it's going to be, it always happens in February. So it's going to be 19th to 25th of February in 2027.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so their call for
okay.
speakers always comes around October, November. August,
Mm,
October, and then by November you know if you are going. By
mm,
December, yeah, they've always accepted their speakers by around December. So by
mm,
January you always know you've started planning your visas and everything. So yeah,
mm.
I think I saw one Nigerian at the event. I don't remember their name, but I think I met one person from Nigeria at the event.
Um, okay. Let's see how it goes this year. Hopefully everything
Yeah.
goes as planned. I was not
Yeah.
supposed to go for Chaos from Europe, but my and first on Europe and first them, but my visa got denied.
Were
So
they offering travel support?
first them was offering. I know first them and Chaos Europe, they were like merging sort of. They were concurrent.
Yeah.
Chaos Con Europe was on the 29th. First then was on the 2nd of February. And I think they were partnering in a way. So, and I was
Yeah.
speaking at first then. I got an opportunity to speak at first then. All right. So I was like, oh, great. So I can just come earlier, attend Chaos Con Europe, and then speak at first then. So it's kind of worked out, the plan and everything. But my visa was denied, so I couldn't travel.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm also planning to go to first time next year. So yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Hmm.
I do it better this next because I plan to actually apply again for the Schengen visa. Hopefully, this time is better.
Yeah, okay, okay. I'm rooting for you. But Winnie and Blessing, I think I gave such anyone who wants us to do anything in April. I think it's already 20th of April. Uh, do we want to do anything in April?
The only thing we could possibly do that would maybe beat or match the last minuteness, which I don't really recommend because I don't like to rush participants, if anything, yeah. But the only
Yeah,
thing that seems that we could do is maybe a podcast. We could like
yeah,
Yeah, I was
again, but
actually
we don't know when. Yeah, but we don't know when Harmony has planned podcast of the year of the month to be. Right?
oh,
Maybe we can find out about that. Again, we don't know what topic we want to speak about because we don't want something generic. We don't want something that is spoken about before. We want something new, something interesting. And most importantly, something that involves the community for people with disabilities and open source as they merge together. So we don't know if 10 days is going to be enough for us to figure out what we want to do. I mean, streaming is not a problem. Streaming happens in a day, but getting a speaker or representative, getting a topic, and arranging the conversation, if it's something we can do in 10 days, very cool.
okay. Do you want to pick this up, Toria, and see if you can reach out to
Hmm.
Harmony and see if anything is possible?
Okay. I mean, I could. Where I am actually thinking, or what I am actually thinking now, is how to get a speaker with disability who is going to be available to speak. So I'll just see what I can do and I'll give you feedback in the next meeting. Oh, the next meeting, the podcast has already been done because our next
Yeah,
meeting is
so I
not
think
going to
it's
take
something
days.
we can give updates uh on Slack.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I can do that. I can give
Yeah.
updates. Or I can even tag Harmony because it's also in our Slack um
Yeah.
group. So I can just ask him and then I'll tag him to give us feedback on the Slack. So everybody
Yeah.
gets to know. Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, great. So that's for May. I don't know what's happening in May. I think I'm looking for okay, so when do we think we can do like a physical event? Do you folks in Lagos have like the feasibility of doing a physical event?
Mm, You know, personally, I'd say it would be smart to strategize events for them to happen like on days that are celebration days or months that are celebration months, especially as it channels with people with disability, right? So if we're going to have
Mm,
an event, say open source event or something, we should have it close to or around a period we're celebrating something for people with disability, maybe World Autism Day or World um, um, International Day for people with hearing disability or something in that line, right? And now the
yeah.
wonderful thing is that Elizabeth is now one of the board of, I think she's board of, is it board of directors? I don't know, with GAAD. GAAD is
Mm,
Global Accessibility Awareness Community or something like that. So I
mm,
think this all makes everything easy. I was actually going to reach out to her after telling her that I needed to take some time off. I've not officially spoken to her. Right. I
mm,
think I saw her post on LinkedIn. So I want to reach out to her so that we can officially do it because she reached out to me like sometime last year. She talked about how we can actually merge the two communities together, right? I think she even introduced me to the founder of the community, right? One of the
yeah.
founders of the community, I think Joe. I'm supposed to even reach out to him to have something like maybe an event or something we can celebrate that would be a collaboration between Chaos and the community, right? So now I think it is even best now that she's also in the community. I think she says she's still going to be like reaching out to we can still like reach out to her in chaos, right? Like she's still like in chaos. So I plan to reach out to her and ask her when if there's going to be like a major event that
Mm.
the community is going to be hosting globally, that we can maybe have a session or a chapter or something here in Nigeria. And then we can now use that opportunity to have like an open source chaos collaborative event with it, if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. So I don't think we can put that in any month till you reach out, right?
Exactly. Like we don't know when exactly. So for physical
Okay, but
events, we can keep that pending
yeah.
until we figure out the best time to, yeah, have it.
Okay, so just a quick when are the accessibility celebration days so that we can just
Oh,
mark them here?
there are many. There are many. I'll just like reach out to somebody in my community, Accessibility Nigeria. I think we have a list. I'll share it
Okay,
to the Slack channel later. Yeah, there are so many of them. I
okay,
think scattered through the year or something.
okay. Do we want to run a webinar sometime? I'm just thinking of ideas of what we can do.
You mean like virtually?
Yeah, virtually instead of like in person.
I mean, we can do that. While we still have like the physical event, we can run a webinar.
Yeah. So do you think we can have a webinar in We can have a webinar in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so that as we figure out what to have, and then we also think of what we want to have in the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm waiting for folks to add more. So blessings. I think I also saw someone else in the meeting. I'm not sure of the name, but I
Kieran,
think
I've not heard your voice.
yes, Kirian, how are you doing? Um, hope you're doing well on your end. We're just trying to plan out the year. So this is a very good time if maybe you are new to the working group or maybe you want to contribute more. Feel free to share ideas on how maybe your background, on how we can do make impact within Chaos Project. So yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just kind of sitting in on all the chaos meetings. I'm starting basically an online encyclopedia, and it kind of overlaps a lot with open source and showing off where open source comes from, where the code comes from. And when I was looking out, I found chaos. So I've been kind of sitting in the different meetings. My project is an international 3D encyclopedia meant for your phone or mobile or web browser. So something easy for people to find information. And I really find your guys' meetings really intriguing. It's bringing me closer to the community of what I'm trying to focus on because I've been one person developing for so long. And I am just getting into Python. I'm just getting into open source. I come from a AAA game developer background, and I have tried to go the other route, and it's quite difficult. But I've found it very more rewarding.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Hmm. Looking forward to how your project pans out. So, yeah, but if you have any ideas on accessibility stuff, if you've worked around that, and you have any background experience, or maybe you've had something, feel free to also chime in and drop ideas. So, yeah.
For sure, I only have 33% of my vision, so I'm not quite legally blind, but close enough to be legally blind. So I do all my
Yeah.
computer work with lots of assistance and help from the computer world. So I that's what brought me to this one.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, that's good. And how has it been for you to work around meetings and coding and all that? Is it just okay, or you have faced some barriers?
It was really hard because I started a career in games and then experienced my sight loss. So for a couple years, I just took time off and went away. But
Mm.
I have used tools and also just dealt with what I have as a vision and gotten more up to speed what I used to be with that. Um, Now I utilize a lot of the built-in tools, and I have a lot of I've actually used AI to build my own tools now because some of them a lot of tools for people with disabilities are built with people asking people with disabilities what they want. So there's already one level of disconnect. So I'm able to build tools that work for how I want them to work. And I really want to share those tools off too. Things that don't add extra clicks, that you have to click things so that you can use your
Yeah.
voice to bring up magnifiers. Or that
Yeah.
they snap to your mouse, not have to go and find the magnifier and then drag it to where you're looking. There's a lot of little things that I've been working on that I think would help. But I don't know how to upload to Git yet. I come up from an old Perforce generation where we used a different tool. And
Yeah.
I'm just getting into uploading everything on. And I think it could help. It's hard because a lot of people with disabilities don't use the regular tools or look in the regular spots.
Yeah.
Resources like in Canada where I am, the resources don't really have a lot. They don't really know what's out there. So
Okay.
that's where I think I spent a lot of years being a technical artist. And I think that I
Oh,
can bridge the gap between disability and tech.
okay. That's interesting. I think you would actually make a very good host at our podcast. We always host like a podcast for disability. I think your experience in building tools as someone who has I think a little bit of disability with their vision and talking about how you've built them and how you are currently working through that would be interesting. If maybe by any chance you're down for that, maybe Victoria can
Hmm.
reach out.
For sure. I'll put my email in here.
Okay, sure thing. That's amazing. And I think you also mentioned something around building tools, using AI to build tools for people with disabilities. It's something I've been doing recently where I'm using AI to build tools to help me write. I am a technical writer, but I faced writer's block and I've not been writing for like a couple of months now, like 6, 8 months. And I'm using AI to build like an agent that helps me brainstorm ideas and connect it to my deployment, to where I want to deploy my articles and just do that right off. So I think that's also be an interesting conversation we can have around how you're using AI to build tools that help persons with disabilities. I think if you drop your email, probably I will reach out and have a chat and see if we can even have that as one of our webinars on accessibility and see how people can build accessibility with AI. So yeah, that's really cool.
No, thank you so much. I would appreciate that. And AI really, as someone who used to do, I used a lot of Mel scripting for Maya. It's a 3D program, and I was just getting into Python, but it's really hard when you have even slight eyesight problems to find the missing slash, the backslash, or the period, or the comma. So
Yeah.
AI allows you to even I have a tool that does a diff on code, but then it also highlights things in multiple ways so that I can see
Yeah.
them, like errors or things that are not quite errors, like red and yellow. I really trying to use visual stuff that is really exaggerated. And then it's really because what you're doing is you're just trying to make it so that everyone's as fast as everyone else. And I think
No.
that's the most important part with disabilities is you're just trying to bring everyone up to the same speed. And I don't think a lot of people think about that. They over-engineer things. And the best the best tool still for a blind person is a stick because it shows that you're blind and it also gives you an extension of your hand.
Oh, okay, okay. That's interesting. I think that's pretty cool. What you get to do. So yeah, I think Toya will reach out. And then maybe we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks,
yes, please go ahead.
and girls.
Um, it's great to meet you, Karen. We love what you're doing, and I'm definitely going to reach out. I feel like this conversation will really make a great one for the podcast. I mean, a lot of people would love to hear about what you're building, and I think it would be a great opportunity to talk about it. And people would also love to use what you're building. I don't know if it's ready, if it's published, if it's live. I mean, people also love
I
to know
think
works.
it's time to publish things because even when things are broken, it's better than when you think they're finished.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, as someone who is into being the perfectionist, it can't be that perfect. You just have to work really logical. You have to publish what is already available, then make updates in the future. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to see what you're working with. So, but I wanted to ask you, you finding the chaos community and the meeting, it was through the website, yes? Was it through the website or
It was
you
through
attended
someone
an
named Emma. So I am in Canada, and a friend of mine was part of the Victoria Makerspace, and Emma was in the Makerspace. So multiple people have connected me through, and I've been joining the other chaos meetings for a while. It seems like there's I was with Adrian and the Augur stuff, but it seems like there's quite a bit
Oh,
of
right.
yeah, some chaos inside of chaos. So I've appreciated
Yeah.
seeing that though, because it shows that everyone's willing to talk about the hard stuff where a lot of communities seem to just kind of fade away when that stuff happens. So
Hmm.
with open source, there's always the chance to split to a new branch and start a new project. So that's what I really like.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always something to build. That's the amazing thing about open source. Like you can touch different branches of the work. So that's great. That's great. We also love you to be part of like maybe try to review some of our websites and see if it's accessible enough for you. Because again, while we're trying to build software and community that is accessible to everyone, especially people with disabilities, we also want to start from start from home per se. Yeah. So from our website, if our website are accessible and all the products we have currently are accessible, and if people with disability have any barrier or difficulty using them. So maybe while we have a conversation or while I send an email, I can send you a link to some of the websites and maybe tell us what you think and what your experience with it was, if that's fine.
That sounds great. That sounds exactly where I'm trying to head towards. Less corporate contract job work and more just trying to see if I can be part of the communities and help where I can help.
That's nice. Nice to meet you. And would love to see more of you in our meetings. So we usually have our meetings bi-weekly. So after our meeting today, our next meeting will be in 14 days in the next 2 weeks. So would love to see more of you in our meetings.
Yeah,
I'll be reaching out via email as well for the podcast.
Please do. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Karen. So,
Okay.
Brian, I wanted to say, we can actually, we don't have to figure all the quarters out today. I
Yes.
mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
since we have the second quarter and part of the fourth quarter, I mean, I think after reaching out to Elizabeth and figuring out when the event is, we can figure out if we want to put the in-person event in the second quarter or the third quarter, since we don't have anything in the third quarter currently. And then again, we find out about other open source events that we probably want to collaborate with, whether it's Oscar Fest or any other open source event that's currently happening in Nigeria or any other place in Africa. I'd say also Europe, or I think we should start off with where we have people who can um, coordinate and supervise in person. Right, so maybe we can start from Africa, and then when we get that information, we can look for how to fill in activities for third quarter and the last quarter.
Okay. That's fine. I think you also like I don't know, 6 minutes to time. So I wouldn't want to keep folks longer unless you have. So I think we can focus on this and this, and then I'm also part of the other thing. I'm now also regional executor for Black Python devs. So if you're organizing something and it relates to Python, it's also open source. So long as it's open source, it's Python. Um, I can find ways to get support to you folks if it's financial support, if it's swag over to you folks, so that just to support the community.
Yay! A round of applause.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward. We also
Congratulations, and thank you for bringing that up.
thank you, thank you. Also going back to, I think the disc committee is returning to its regular activities soon.
I was
That's
going to
after.
ask, what's going on? What's the update? The event for last year did not hold anymore.
Yeah, I think it's because last year we didn't have budget, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This year we are just getting started, but sadly we say with a hit because Camila left the team, and Camila was our point of contact. So Camila left now for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
my.
it's been quite up and down, but we finally have someone who's now representing us. That's Kari. So we wanna start fundraising, see if we can do the next disc and conference. The idea was to do it at PyCon Africa this year, so that we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to pay for everyone to get there, but get folks who are already there to attend the conference. But we are not thinking it's possible because it's a very short time to fundraise for
Mm-hmm.
that. And also we always had to write a proposal and send it to the board for the board to approve before I can go ahead. It's like once we have all it figured out, I'll definitely share, but then I'll
Mm-hmm.
add to the event probably next year.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
great. No problem. No problem. That's cool. So, for me, I don't think there's any other thing I have to contribute now. I don't know if anybody has anything to.
I don't think I have. Mine is just to say I was not able to join these meetings because I had like work meetings at this time, but I'm now back to, so I had switched to part-time. So my meetings were happening in the evening, but I've now switched back to full-time. So my meetings are happening during the day. So I can now be more consistent with these meetings. So yeah.
Yay, another round of applause. I'm excited to be having you back fully. So we hope to see more of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining. I'm looking forward to having you join again next 2 weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to join the general diversity meeting and tell people that our meetings are officially started. I don't think I shared this in the general chaos uh, platform. I would be doing that, and then I'll also try to attend. I was going to ask like feedback from the diversity meeting so far, but since our time is almost up, maybe we can start off from our next meeting, yeah, where we talk about what like the general diversity issue is and how it applies to accessibility and pointers we can take and all of that and all of that. I know Winifred is used to be our point of contact. I don't know if she has been attending the meeting, but that's fine. Winifred, you've been attending the meeting, yes?
Not
Have you
in
been
recent
attending?
times. I've been
Okay,
very, yeah.
understandable.
I'll resume. Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. It was really nice having everyone. And thank you, Karen. It was nice meeting you. We hope to see more of you.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, I'll be reaching out to you soon. And thank you, Brian, for facilitating the meeting. Thank you, Blessing, for being our secretary. Yeah, looking forward to seeing us in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Take care. Nice to meet you all.
Bye. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Let me
See you in
stop
2 weeks. I'll
sharing.
be reaching out to you. I'll be your DM on WhatsApp soon. How about that?
Okay. Okay, my boss. Okay, my boss.
Thank you, my boss. Bye.
Bye.